So what I've been doing for the last 9 months, I've been in strict development for GMTO. You may be asking, what is GMTO? GMTO started over 3 years ago, and simple motto I had: get money, take over. I ended up starting a system. It was a checkbox system. I used it for a few months and it changed my life. I reached the ceiling of that system. So I had to create a new system to adapt to my needs and wants. In doing so, I ended up expanding it into a Notion database. And I actually had a very close personal development partner, and he was a very close brother to me. And this actually had a huge impact to me. A few months later, I reached the top of that ceiling, and I realized my system needs to be fully in-house from scratch. And if it's not done like that, it won't work, because I kept on reaching a ceiling, and I had too many dimensions horizontally and vertically. So normally when you enter a market, you either enter it vertically, which is a solution that fits one, or horizontally, a solution that fits all. So what I did is I started breaking down dimensions of my life on a horizontal and a vertical scale. And when I started doing so, I also started realizing that you can leverage multiple areas of your life to uplift another area of your life. And when I realized this, everything unlocked, everything changed for me, because now when I'm in the gym, I'm not just in the gym. When I'm pushing weights in the gym, I'm pushing everything else in my life. When I'm working and I'm clocking in 9 hours of productive work, it's not just productive work, it's reflected in everything else. When I'm going to sleep on my routine, to fix my sleep, to make sure I'm recovering, it's not about the sleep. That's reflected in how I work and how I work out, in my eating. Okay, you guys don't realize the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So you guys really need to watch out for the tiny things, because everything counts. And that is my point. People don't realize every single tiny thing adds up. It's either going to the W side or the L side. And everyone has a good side and a bad side. I'm not a perfect person, but I make sure at the end of the day, my good side is stronger than my bad side. And it's your greatest enemy is your inner self. And until you realize that, nothing will change. Until you realize every single day you have to fight with you versus you. When you get into that mode of, I am now going against my greatest enemy, which is who I could have been. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? And all this sounds normal, but when you start putting it into action, you have to be crazy to follow through. And I'm looking for everyone else who's crazy enough to bet everything on themselves, because we live in a society where people are willing to bet everything on anything but themselves. People are willing to do everything but the work. People are willing to talk, they'll do everything but do the work. Okay? And for those people that are transparent, they have their word, they have balls. When I say that, I mean that. All right? Some people, they don't even have their balls. They have no dignity. You can't even speak to this guy. And it's not about the money. This guy could have all the money in the world. When he speaks, it's useless, because there's no promise. It's like you're talking to a wall. Okay? And because of all of this, I've been on a strict path. And I've been very narrow with who I allow close to me, who I communicate with, who I share my energy with. And you guys might be, oh, this is so extra. It is that deep. Because when you realize every single thing means something, and there are no accidents. There are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. And my greatest losses were my greatest accomplishments. I wouldn't have any of my greatest accomplishments if it wasn't for my greatest losses. So what does that mean? Never good, never bad. Nothing is anything but what you make of it. So the reality is, the amount of good in life is up to your skill in noticing how much good is there in your life. And I recommend you notice everything. Alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful.
problems, ain't nobody calling back. Now what the fuck is happening with my ball and cats? Remember me, I'm your homie that was down the brawl, sipping Hennessy, hanging with the clowns and all. We used to do is drink brew, screw, and come and knew we had bitches by the dozens. We fucking cousins, you can throw your middle finger if you feel me low. A nigga just got paid and we still was broke. It took time, but finally the cash was mine. All the rewards of a hustler, stuck in the grind. Look around, and all I see is snakes and fakes, just like scavengers, waiting to take a hustler's pace. And when you stuck, where the fuck is all your friends? They straight busted and can't be trusted.
Alright, we just made it home in peace, in one piece. Now, something really important that I do want to talk to a lot of people is, I'm no expert, but I genuinely do believe that the person that can see something and can believe it and can hold it in his head long enough until he can hold it will get it. And I have a vision. Only I can see it. None of you guys can see it. And I'm going to do my best with all my power to show the world how I view the world through my lens, through how I share my stories and I document everything. But I really want to make you guys be able to feel like you're with me and like you're experiencing what I'm experiencing, because I'm not going to be sharing my bad days, good days. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the things that make me feel alive. And you guys are going to see the tiny things that I love building, that I've been keeping myself away from because I've been working. But now that it's the time for it, we can start moving towards the things that make me feel like I'm alive. And if you're watching this, I want you, yes, you, to ask yourself, what is it that when I'm working on this thing, this particular thing, the clock feels like there's no clock. Like the time goes by. You can be there doing it 9 hours, 10 hours. You don't even want to leave. Like you're tired and you wish you could just take a battery out, put a battery in and keep going. And for me, that thing is, I love building cars. I love building cars. And this is going to be the first of its kind. So stay tuned. And if you haven't already, check it out. This is my IS300 2001 Lexus. Take care, everyone. Peace out.